Hello!
Hello.
This is the Princess Tea Party podcast where myself and Sophie discuss all things girly pink and princessy. We want to make this a safe space where we can discuss topics which transport you to another place and chat about subjects of interest, mainly ballet, fashion, baking, books, and music.
Today's topic is the latest couture collections for spring and summer 2021. We'll be focusing on Chanel and Giambattista Valli and how they've adapted during COVID. So, Victoria, do you want to begin with Chanel?
Yes, I would love to. So, this Haute Couture Chanel collection for Spring Summer 2021 is inspired by intimate family gatherings in a small village, maybe in the south of France, and mainly also like wedding gatherings and that kind of thing. And it's also very bohemian style with all the lace that's going on and the flowers. And Virginie Viard also said in an interview that there's something for everyone. For example, like the aunt of the wedding and the mother of the bride, and also the 15-year-old. And I just really love the collection because it's so romantic and fairy tale like, and I just really think it transports you to another place. And I really do think that there's something for everyone because I myself found a few looks that were absolutely amazing, but there are also some looks in this collection which some of my other friends that don't really like the girly stuff would adore. So I really think that this collection is really great overall.
I completely agree, and I definitely got the fairy tale essence of the collection. And especially when we saw the models entering on white horses and then the rose garlands. And you probably noticed this, but there's even like petals strewn across the floor.
Yeah, I saw it really reminded me of a wedding when like the bride and the groom, is it called groom? I think so. Are coming out of the church and like the little girls are throwing like flower petals all over them and it's just so beautiful.
No, I definitely agree. And like all the flounces and the petticoats. And of course, we couldn't miss the tweed, which is our favourite.
Yeah.
So that was like the staple. But alongside that, I don't know if you had a favourite look, but mine was number 25, which was sort of like this taffeta dress with red and white polka dots and like a flouncy skirt. And it looked so elegant, but also like fun and playful. And I was just wondering if you had a favourite piece from the collection.
Yeah, I actually that's one of my favorites as well. I have it pulled up in front of me. But I also really liked the tweed dress that was like off the shoulder and has like a bow in the front. I just really think it's
Yes, I'm
it's
looking at that
really
now.
it's really romantic and kind of youthful, even though it's tweed, because I know that some people think that tweed can look quite old-fashioned, but I think that this dress, like specifically, looks so youthful and I just really love it. And I also love the tweed cord in this collection,
Yes.
like the light pink one with the buttons down the front. And I just think it looks so classy and just so beautiful. And it's so my style. And I was so happy when I saw all of the like pastel colored like pieces in this collection.
I know, and there was like even one that you probably saw. It was like more like satin, but then there's like
Yes.
ruffles
Oh my God.
across the bottom.
I just pulled that one up in front of me. It's so beautiful. But I can't quite, like, I don't really know if it's like a jacket,
I
like on top.
know.
I'm really
It's
curious if it's like attached to the dress or if you can take it off.
yeah, like if
But
it's like a shawl or something.
yeah,
Yeah.
but it's really beautiful. I just love it so much, and I also really love like the dainty belt that's going around the waist because just
Yes.
think like belts are very Chanel, but in this collection they're not like really heavy. Like it's all like really dainty and fairy tale, and I just love this collection.
No, I agree. And like, I mean, even though to me it looked like more of a ready to wear collection, we do know that it's
Yeah,
couture. And I mean, all the effort that goes into crafting each piece. I mean, when you look at it, it's just breathtakingly beautiful. And like we were saying about look number 25, which is that beautiful sort of flouncy skirt dress. And it's almost got like a sort of polka dot design all over
Yeah,
it.
I
But
think it's
from
actually like small flowers, I think. I zoomed it a bit and I think it's like small flowers, but it looks like polka dots from afar.
Yeah, and it's just like every detail is just so beautiful. And we were also sort of talking about the actual, I guess you could talk about like the COVID aspect of it, because we did
Yeah.
notice that it was mainly the Chanel brand ambassadors that were there. So like Penelope Cruz and Lily Rose Depp and Vanessa Paradis. And it was interesting to see them experience the collection socially distanced, but it was kind of beautiful. And I think, like we were saying, it feeds into that whole idea of like the bohemian wedding
Yeah.
and it being sort of like a sort of family gathering,
Yeah, and
but
really
women,
intimate. Yeah.
yeah, but like all women, very feminist, very like a cozy sort of environment, just experiencing
Yeah.
couture. And she did say, Virginie Viard, she did mention the idea of it being influenced by a film called The Time of the Gypsies. So I think there's definitely like a bohemian influence.
Yeah. I also really like the like general vibe of the setting because it's just so enchanting, and I also really like that there wasn't like that many people because I just think it's like really calming and not as loud and busy, and I have to say I really loved it. So yeah, even though it's sad for all of the people that couldn't go like to the show, I still think that it was just really really beautiful.
I agree, because maybe like the fact that there is less people and we know the reason why and it's sad, maybe part of it's kind of beautiful because you can really appreciate the clothing rather than it being like a sort of spectacle. Because I do find, I don't know if you
Yeah.
feel the same, but like sometimes when you do watch fashion shows, it seems to be more about who's in the audience rather than
Yeah.
what the collection is and like what famous celebrity is sitting there. And you know, do you know what I mean? Like it just feels like
Yeah.
more about the clothing. And I
It really
mean,
does.
I
Yeah.
think for us too, like our two favorite fashion houses are Dior and Chanel. So I think like just experiencing that would be like a dream, and the fact that it'd be at the Palais Garnier would be amazing. But I just love this collection.
Yeah, I do too. And another thing that I wanted to say is why I laughed that there weren't as many people is because I don't know how you feel about it, but I kind of hate seeing like all the phones in the audience because
Yes.
I mean it's their job to like post about the shows where they go to, like all the influencers, but I just think that all the technology like can be a bit like too much sometimes, and like you can really like focus on the beautiful gowns and pieces in the collection, and I just love that you couldn't see like that much like technology like around.
Yeah, so I think one of the main things that we can take away from it is like the idea of in the 1950s or even the 1930s, we would probably not be taking pictures of the items ourselves on a smartphone. And I think it's just that like novelty of women going to these fashion shows, and they would usually just take a notebook and probably write down the dress number and then maybe inquire after the show if they can have the piece made for them. And it was that sort of specialist idea of
Yeah.
couture and it being made for the woman specifically. And I think you're right. I think it takes that away with this idea of like consumer culture and we're constantly taking pictures of everything. And
Yeah.
I know that we're both on social media and we love sharing these things, but at the same time I do think it takes away from the artistry of the fashion industry, and I
Yeah,
don't know if you
and
agree.
yeah, I do, and I actually think that like when we were both like for example when we met last year in London and we took pictures of everything we did, that was because it was personal and nobody else could have taken pictures for us. And I think like in those fashion shows you have professional photographers who like take pictures of everything. So I think it's not that necessary that every person in the audience is taking pictures of everything, if you know what I mean, because you will get those pictures anyway. So I think there's like a difference between us taking pictures when like we were together to like all those people with their smartphones, like at the fashion show, taking pictures of the clothes, because there are people to take pictures of like the whole collection anyway. So I don't think it's that dramatic if people wouldn't like take pictures of every like garment that they see. And I just think that it would be a bit more, I don't know, I would even say magical if we wouldn't see like technology that much, because I just think that the clothes are like, it's so amazing what people can do, like who, like the people who like produce the clothing. And I just think that it would be amazing if we just could appreciate like the art of fashion instead of taking pictures of everything and seeing everything to like the smartphones, like at least the people that go to the shows.
I agree, because sometimes I think that are they just taking the picture to show that they've been there
Yeah,
rather than appreciating the beauty of the pieces? And I mean, like designers that I admire, like Christian Dior, I just can't imagine him like
yeah,
now, sort of like seeing his creations photographed like on smartphones. I don't know. I
yeah.
just struggle to sort of see it, and like to him, it was like a piece of art.
Yeah, and
So yeah,
I think it's the same like when you go to a ballet performance, you also don't take pictures of
yes, they
everything.
tell you. Yeah,
Yeah,
they.
because I think that it like, I don't know how to say it, but it's not really appreciating the art, if you know what I mean.
I completely
So,
agree. Yeah.
yeah.
It's almost like, you know, when you go to a gallery, there might be a couple of paintings that you love, and you might take a picture because it's not something that you're going to see every day and it's something you love.
Yeah.
Like, I know we both love Degas, so I can imagine if you wanted to keep a picture of the painting, that's fine. But it's when people take pictures of every single painting that's
Yeah.
in the museum and then they don't even look at the actual painting.
Yeah, I had like an experience like that when when I went to Versailles, because there was this one guy that like constantly photographed everything on his iPad, and didn't even I don't think that he really appreciated it. It just like he just photographed everything and then went away, like just to like, I've been here. So yeah.
I know, like, I think that's like something that people do. They just kind of go,
Yeah.
yes, I've seen Marie Antoinette's bedroom. Okay,
Yeah.
I've seen, like, and it's so amazing. And don't get me wrong, when I do go to Versailles, I will take some pictures, but
Yeah, I did as well.
it's it's also like you've got to appreciate the beauty. Like when I went to the Vatican in Rome, oh my gosh, Victoria, it's just amazing. Like, I mean, when you see like the Sistine Chapel, you just kind of take a like you kind of, I don't know, it's like breathtaking. And
Yeah.
I didn't take a picture of it. I just stood there staring at it. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of people did, but to be honest, it was so crowded. You could hardly breathe. It was just so busy. But
Yeah.
I mean, I just kind of looked at the ceiling and just kind of took it in and like absorbed it. And sometimes I think that's the best way. And I think that's the best way
Yeah.
with fashion. I think if I ever go
Yeah.
to a fashion show, I would love to take a picture, but I think I'd be so engrossed in looking at the pieces up close because I've never seen, apart from when I went to see the Dior Designers of Dreams, which you went
Yeah.
to, that's the only time I've seen couture up close. I'd never really experienced that before, especially by my favourite designer. It was just kind of completely one of the most amazing things I've ever seen, and I'm
Yeah.
sure you can agree.
I can agree. And I think the first time that I saw like couture up close was in 2018, and there was like an exhibition in Lübeck. It's like a city in Germany, and it was so amazing. They had like all of those 1950s, 1960s like garments and haute couture pieces from Dior or Chanel and
Wow.
Schiaparelli, and it was just so amazing. And like I took a few pictures, but most of the time I just stood there and admired the art, and it was just amazing. So yeah.
That sounds amazing. Should we? I think we should talk about our next designer, which we
Yeah.
love, Giambattista Valli. So he's launched his new spring 2021 collection, and there's loads of like ruches and ruffles, and feminine silhouettes, which is kind of typical of Valli's style. And one of the features that I loved from the show was like the voluminous hairstyles, which kind of bridges on what we were talking about. Like, it reminded me of like the 1960s.
Yeah.
And when I watched the video, and you probably saw this too, was like the male ballet dancer, which I loved,
Yeah.
was in the
It was
video. Yeah.
amazing. Yeah.
So I don't know if you want to talk about it a bit, but I just loved it.
Yeah, I did as well. And I just think that this collection is really like also really magical and enchanting, and it takes your mind kind of away from all of the stuff that's going on right now. And I can see that he maybe did it on purpose because like not a lot of people are currently wearing all of those gowns, but it's still amazing to look at them and admire them. So I just think that it's a really great distraction from like the whole current situation. And I think that I read in an interview somewhere that he said when you create haute couture, you have to be a sculptor and like a sculptor. So, and I think you can really see that because like the garments and the clothes really look like art. It's not just like everyday fashion. It's art. Like honestly, it's so beautiful and so detailed and amazing, and I just adore every single piece. And I think I have about five of my favorite looks like in front of me right now, and they're all so beautiful, and every single one has something special about it. So I don't know. Do you want to say which one was maybe your favorite look of the collection?
Oh my gosh, it's so difficult. I mean,
I
I
know.
completely agree with everything you said, like about the tulle and the flower petals and the pastel colours. And it's like, literally, like you were saying, a piece of art. And I love the way that the pieces are structured in that sort of sculpturesque way. And obviously, the hairstyles and the flower corsages and the bows. But I think, I mean, I have about five different favourites, but
I have as well. I even think we have the same ones.
I know. So the first one for me would have to be like the tiered tulle one. So it kind of goes out in a layer of different sections. And there's sort of like in the middle, there's a main bodice, but it sort of goes out at the side in sort of like layers. I don't know if that's one of your
Yeah,
favourites.
I think I know which one you mean. And I think like the dress in the middle has also some like I think they're like leaves on it. And I
Yes,
think
yes,
it's
that
really,
one.
really beautiful. And I also adore the shoes. Like the shoes are so beautiful. Like with the
Yes.
tulle that they have like on the front bit, it's just so beautiful. And I also really love like the like decorations that they have in their hair, like the bows with the flowers on them. It's
Yeah.
so beautiful. But another look that I really loved was the white dress that
Yes.
it's
Yes.
just so beautiful, and also like the bows in the hair and like the white rose, it's so beautiful, and it kind of gives me like I don't know 1950s like movie star vibes. I don't know. I can see someone wearing it on a red carpet, and it's just so beautiful. And I think if I was ever going to a red carpet event, I would wear something from Giambattista Valli because the all of the like gowns are so beautiful and so my style and so breathtaking. So I just had to wear something from a collection of him.
I completely agree, and I think the white one definitely reminds me of like a wedding gown. Like you would wear it, like there's always
Yeah.
like a wedding piece, isn't there? Usually
Yeah,
in a couture
at the
collection
end, yeah.
at the end, and I think if it had been on the runway, I think that one would have been the last, like the piece de la resistance at the end. I think it would have
Yeah.
been like the creme de la creme of the collection. Um, and I just loved it. And I think that I think with Giambattista Valli, I think some people either love his designs or don't like them, but I think
Yeah,
we can both say that we love them.
yeah,
And to finish, we always do our monthly favourites.
yes.
So, do you want? I think maybe this month we could do one of our favourite books or TV series. So, I don't know if we want to start with books, maybe.
Oh, okay. So I actually finished like a book that I already read, and it's one of the Shopaholic series
I
books,
love
and I
them.
do too. And I just think that it's a really lightweight, and it's just such a comfort book, and I can relate to Becky Bloomwood in many ways. So I just love the whole Shopaholic series, and it's just so funny, and it also discusses fashion, and I just love the book series, so I can really recommend them, like the books, to everyone who hasn't read them already. And also, the movie is really good, but I, of course, prefer the books.
I completely agree. I've read them as well. They're just so addictive. And they're so like, when you need something to sort of relax, they're probably
Yeah,
like the best books to read.
I agree.
My favourite this month, I mean, because I'm a literature student, I'm always reading, but I'm not going to recommend one that I'm studying because it's not as interesting to talk about now. But the book that I know that you will love, and I think so many people that are probably listening will love, is Always Audrey, which is like a new book, and it's like it's a photography book. But as you probably already know, Audrey is like my ultimate inspiration.
Yeah, mine as well.
And I think so many people that are listening will look to Audrey for inspiration in life and in fashion. And it came out last year, but it was quite expensive, so I wanted to save up a bit. But it was collated by Terence Pepper, who was like the curator of the National Portrait Gallery. So a few years ago, I actually went to the National Portrait Gallery and saw the Audrey Hepburn
Oh,
Portraits of an Icon, which was
amazing.
like the most amazing exhibition that I've ever been to, because it was all the portraits of Audrey, and like an entire collection. And this new book, it's not got the pictures from that specific exhibition because there's another book, but this book's got like a bunch of rare pictures from 6 key photographers in Audrey's life, and the picture on the cover is like one of my absolute favourites. It's by Norman Parkinson, and it's you've probably seen it, V. It's like this sort of picture of Audrey in like a pink dress against a bunch of sort of pink flowers. It's really famous. You've probably seen it.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite pictures as well. Really, really love it. And I actually have like this picture in a magazine that I picked up in Covent Garden when I went to London for the first time.
Oh, that's so
So,
special.
yeah, it really is. And I picked up 2 copies of the magazine because it was just so amazing.
That's amazing. So I would recommend that to anyone. And it's just got so many beautiful pictures, and it does have like background to like each of the photographers and like how they worked with Audrey and sort of their relationship. And I think that's just really beautiful.
So, should I continue with my favorite TV series this month?
Yes, I'd
Because
love to know.
my favorite TV series this month is The Queen's Gambit, and I've watched it for the second time because I just love it so much, and I love Anya Taylor-Joy, and I love like the 60s fashion, and I just love the series. It's so captivating, and I just love the stories. And even though chess is not really a topic that has interested me, I just I really felt passionate for her to like win every game in the series. So I can really recommend it, and I just
I definitely need to
really, really
watch
love
that.
it.
So, my recommendation, even though you might have already seen it, and I've actually seen it multiple times, is Victoria. The obviously based on Queen Victoria, um, and it's from ITV, and it's just such a beautiful series about Victoria's sort of young reign. And they're up to season 3 now. I'm hoping they're going to do another season, but it's just talking about her reign and sort of the political situations at the time, but also her own personal life and obviously marriage to Albert. And I just find it so fascinating. I don't know if you've seen it before, but I know that you'd love it.
I haven't actually, but I think my mom has. So I really need to watch it because I mean my name is Victoria, so
I
it
know.
would it would be a shame if I wouldn't watch it. And yeah, I think I definitely have to do it. So yeah, I think I have a lot more time in lockdown at home, so
Yeah.
I will definitely start watching it.
I think you'd love it just because obviously your name is Victoria, but also the costumes, the historical facts, but also the fact that she's German and the
Yeah.
whole family is German. So I think that would be quite interesting. And sometimes they do actually speak German in the program.
Oh, that's amazing.
Um, so like that's really cool as well. So I think you'd love that.
I think I will.
So that's the end of our podcast.
We really hope that you enjoyed it, and yeah, just wait for the next episode. So I think we're going to wrap it up now, and yeah,
We'll see you next time. Bye.
bye.